Welcome to the Niche Pursuits Podcast. Are you ready to discover some niche business ideas that actually work? Well, it's time for a motivational kick to jumpstart your next big idea. Here's your host, Spencer Haas.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Niche Pursuits Podcast. I'm excited to introduce to you an exciting internet entrepreneur and to discuss some details about what makes his business tick. Tyrone Shum specializes in both niche websites and outsourcing and much more, actually. His primary business is now running an outsourcing business. He helps corporate clients, does SEO, and he also teaches others how to outsource. Today, I hope to uncover some business tips that can help us all in our own ventures. Tyrone, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Spencer. Pleasure to be on.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking out some time. I really want to dig into some of your business, understand it a little bit better, and hopefully pass on some of that knowledge to people that are listening here today. But first, maybe you can just tell me a little bit about your background, maybe what sort of schooling you had, that sort of thing.
Sure. There's not much to my schooling. I guess I was pretty much I can say I was pretty much an average kid. I wasn't that good academically. I was pretty good at sport. I was very, very active, and I got involved in a lot of activities in school, from athletics all the way to triathlon, and also I was involved in a lot of cross-country type of activities as well. But schooling for me wasn't all that much of a I guess you can say academic. I wasn't that smart, school smart, but I guess became more street smart, because when I went to university, that's when I discovered more about business. It was actually the first year I discovered that, because I actually flunked out into my subject. So unfortunately, at the end of the first year, I had two subjects failed under my belt, and I had to repeat them. And it kind of led me to the question going, wow, what am I supposed to do for the rest of my life? Am I going to continue to pursue in computer science, which is the degree that I studied in, and pursue a career in IT? Or was I going to go out there and possibly start up my own business? And that's where, in the first year, my auntie, who recommended and referred me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there, particularly on this podcast, probably have heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So that sort of started my journey on becoming more or less to pursue a search to become an entrepreneur. And it kind of led me on to looking at different ventures and businesses, because I was wanting to generate passive income, especially when I was at uni. When you're at uni, you just don't have much money, and you want to be able to generate a little bit more money so that you could afford to go and do the things that you wanted to do. For me, it was more like just go and be able to travel and really just get through to uni. So after, I guess, that experience of first year of uni, it kind of just turned my life around. That's where I went out and found like a vending machine business to start off. And then from there, it just led me to take on other businesses that I've done since uni days as well. So that's what's happened with me schooling days.
Very good. Very interesting. So, it's one of those things. Sounds like you went to school and weren't always the most studious as maybe you should have been, but that's okay. You learned some good things from it, good experience in the end, I guess. You learned sort of the lessons that you needed to, and you got involved in a vending business. Now, we don't need to go into a lot of those details, but maybe you can sort of tell us about the transition that you made from a traditional sort of what we call an offline business to becoming more of an online entrepreneur. Maybe tell us about what some of your early online ventures maybe were, and some of the things you experienced there.
Sure. Well, funny thing was that, yes, I had a vending machine business in the first year, or actually no, it was the second year of uni, if I remember correctly. And at that same time, I was trying to explore a little bit more about doing website development and website design. And I guess because I had a background in computer science, it kind of interested me to go online. And at that stage as well, back in 2001 or so, internet was still very, very early stages. We didn't have the tools and the resources to be able to access the internet very, very quickly as we do now. Yeah, it was pretty slow back then. So to really start off on the internet wasn't the fastest thing. And I started looking into a little bit more websites back then to see how I could potentially help clients or help people who I know. And I guess my first client, or my first people that I helped, were my uncles, who had websites for their jewelry stores. So I sort of helped them design that and put that together, and managed to get something put in together. And I guess in that sense, it was just a little dabbling for me to be able to do that, and it didn't take too much time. And I set up a website for them, and then from there, I guess I stumbled into actually a sport called dragon boating. Back at uni days, I was really, really keen on doing sport as well, and I wanted to keep that up because when you go to uni, there's no compulsory sport that you have to do at uni, whereas at school, every Saturday we had a sport to attend. So I got myself involved in a sport called dragon boating. And if you kind of know my story, I started off competing in dragon boating, and I made it into getting into like the states and the national championships to compete on a very elite level. But at that point in time, I was also looking for really, really high performance equipment, which was to increase our speed and also get faster times, as you do. Now, for the people who don't know what dragon boating is, I should probably explain. It's where you sit inside a boat with 20 people and you're rowing down between 250 to 500 meters on this water, and you're competing probably against 5 other boats. So it's sort of like rowing, except that you've got 20 people inside this massive boat. Coming back to it, I was competing at a very high elite level, and I was trying to find some equipment that would be able to be lighter, stronger, and also increase my speed as well. And unfortunately in Australia, they didn't sell any of that type of equipment at a reasonable price. So I thought I'll contact some people overseas, some of the suppliers that they do, especially in the US and Canada, and they did sell that equipment. But to actually get them across was going to cost me almost an arm and a leg. I mean, it wasn't that expensive, but it was expensive when I was back at uni days, to fork out about $250 to send for shipping, plus also the paddle, which was about $300. It was about $600 just to get one paddle. I thought, I don't know if I could afford to buy something like that. So what I did was I started off with talking to all my teammates and also all the other clubs and said, hey, I'm looking to order this particular paddle. Are you guys all interested? In a very short period of time, I managed to get a group order together, roughly about 40 paddles or so. And by speaking to the supplier, I managed to bring the price down and import 40 paddles and save myself on shipping. And in actual fact, I got my first paddle for free. And that's really where this business started. And I thought to myself, if people actually want this kind of equipment, I'd easily be able to import it over here. So I started online.
Okay, so the light bulb went on, it sounds like. You were able to find a product that you could, if you were able to order it in bulk, you could obviously get cheaper rates, and then, you might have a business on your hands. So tell me exactly how that went from, sort of getting a good deal on shipping for you to then turning it into a real viable business.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to actually set up a store because a lot of people who I knew in retail, because my family's in retail as well, said set up a store, import all this equipment at wholesale price and then just let people walk in and buy it. And I thought, I don't want to be there manning a store 7 days a week or something like that with between 9 to 5. I thought, let's go online and set up a store online, which is online for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And people can actually purchase online and process the order. And whenever the orders came through, probably twice a week or so, I'd just ship them out and I'm done. And I'd collect the income and also make money on the side. So that turned into basically an e-commerce store that it just kind of fell into my lap because there was that opportunity there. And through word of mouth and just through talking to a lot of people found out about our site. And then because these paddles were also branded with our brand, which was DBV on it, people saw the brand, hopped onto the internet, and it was easy to remember, and they'd buy it, and it just spread, and that turned into a really, really successful business. So that was really my first real success online.
Very, very interesting. So was this something that was supporting you full time, or was this just something that you were doing during your university days? How viable of a business was it?
Well, actually, I should say, first thing to clarify, I started the serious business of it to go into full-time after my uni days. So after I actually worked on it a little bit, like worked in the workforce to generate some income because I was working full-time after uni. And then during that time, I started this business part-time. It basically turned into full-time after about a couple of years or so. So yes, after a couple of years, I literally went into full-time because it was making a full-time revenue. I mean, the hours I was working were pretty long, about 60 hours a week, but that's where it led me into outsourcing as well. And that's another story I can share with you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, very interesting. So you worked for a couple of years after you graduated. and sort of did this dragon boat business on the side until it did grow into something that you could work on full time. But of course, we know that you've moved on from there, and you mentioned how that business also taught you a little bit about outsourcing. And I know that you are definitely involved more in outsourcing and involved in that a lot more than a lot of other things. So why don't you tell us how that led you to outsourcing and sort of lead us into what you're doing now a little bit.
Sure. Well, what was happening was I was working quite long hours in the dragon boat business. I was doing about 60 hours a week because I did everything myself. Being a solo entrepreneur, you tend to drift and do everything. You handle all emails, you pack all the goods, you do all your sales and marketing with the business. So it turned into like a 60, 70 hour a week business, which I sort of didn't realize until after doing it for a few months. I went, man, am I supposed to be working this hard? I may as well go back into the workforce and just work a 9-to-5 job, and I'll probably have less stress and less work. But it was funny because I was walking to Borders one day and picked up the book called 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And that sort of just, after reading that book and discovering what Tim did, and very, very similar model with his bodybuilding protein shake business, it just opened up my eyes to go, wow, I could actually hire someone from overseas, say in the Philippines, and be able to outsource a lot of the work, like handling the administration, processing orders automatically over there. And it literally cut my hours down from about 60 hours a week down to 15 hours a week. And that's where I started getting a lot more results, because I was able to leverage my time and also generate a lot more income as well. And that kind of just took on from there. And that's when people start asking me, so Tyrone, how are you doing this? Share with us what you're doing. And that's really where it all got started.
Wow. So down to 15 hours a week, did you say?
Yeah, I actually had 2 businesses running at that same point in time. So it was good. Things were doing really well and couldn't complain.
Now that's awesome. That's what it's all about, being able to essentially get things done as cheaply as possible to free up your own time. So that's great. Now, I know that you went through something that many of us are all familiar with your background, the niche site duel with Pat Flynn, which was a huge success. Give us a little bit of background on that. And I do want to talk just briefly about whether or not you have niche sites now and how they're doing.
Sure. Well, to say with the niche site deal that I did with Pat, that was awesome. We had so much of a community watching and learning from us, and we just were honest about what we were doing. We just showed everybody how we went it. They even saw all our mistakes. They saw our successes and also shared in that. And from there, we also made income and made some money as well from those niche sites. Now, in terms of what I have in terms of niche sites, I do still have a few niche sites which are generating income right now, and it's actually a good income online. But my main core business from leading onto that is really all about helping clients achieve first place ranking on Google. So I guess from the niche site duel, within those few months that we did start that and see the success, we actually started taking on clients as well, because I was able to, having a team around me with outsourcing, I was able to get clients to help them rank their websites on the first page of Google in the local area. So I deal with a lot of clients in Sydney, Melbourne, and also up in Queensland in Australia. And those clients just said, yep, we've seen what you've done with your websites. Please help us do the same thing. And that's really where our core business turned into. So what we've been doing is essentially setting up a search engine optimization business where we've implemented the same strategies from the niche site duel into their websites and ranking a lot of clients on the first page. And within about a couple months to 3 months or so, we've seen a lot of them achieve first place ranking because those keywords were picked right. And one of our clients had about 20,000 visitors a month, which was quite a lot already, but it doubled up to 40,000 plus visitors a month. And it was amazing just to be able to see that success for them.
That's awesome. So the niche site duel sort of took you from one type of business into another. You were able to apply what you learned building your own niche sites and then apply that to local business owners and others to help rank their websites as well. So that's great to take that sort of knowledge that you learned and transfer that into something that became your eventual business now. Can you give us an idea of how big your staff is, how many people you have helping you out with your clients?
Sure. Well, I've currently got 4 full-time staff in various different roles across the business, and we are continually adding on because as the business is continually growing, we're adding more to our staff. But the real main thing about not just having so many staff is about leveraging your systems, because we rely very heavily on both technology and also systems to be able to get our work done. So you could actually still run quite a successful business with a team of maybe 4 or 5, and I've heard of people making easily 7 figures just with a small team. So it's all about, I guess, having the right systems in place, having the technologies to be able to help you leverage, because in the time and age that we're in right now, technology is amazing. It's just so fast. It's so flexible to be able to make changes very quickly, especially like websites back then 10 years ago when we didn't have WordPress. We had to actually get someone to physically code and write stuff that we can do. Now you just install a plugin and you're up and away. So I'd highly recommend, before you do start looking at outsourcing, look at the technologies that are available, because you could probably leverage a lot as well.
Sure. No, I agree. There's so many tools out there, like you mentioned, WordPress and so many other things that make it so much easier to build sites and to rank sites and do all these sorts of things that we couldn't do 10 years ago. So for those out there listening, lots of them are trying to rank their sites for different keywords. Should they be coming to you to try and get those sites ranked? I mean, I have lots of niche sites that, in one way or another, I guess I am hiring people to help me out. But should you be my source?
More than happy to help you, Spencer. If you want to send them over, we'll help you manage them.
Well, I'm just curious if you have a particular niche. I know you mentioned, you do a lot of local companies, but are there any clients that you don't take on?
Yeah, well, specific clients are really the make money online clients. We don't go into that, or I guess stock trading or mortgages, all those kind of niches, because they are already very, very competitive there as it is. And we try to work with clients that are very unique. And that's the reason why we're able to achieve this great success with them. And I'm not saying that not every client is going to be suitable for us. It's just we will have a look at what market and what business you're in first, and we'll see if we can help you, because we don't want to spend time with you and say 3 or 4 months later can't achieve even a result. Then you won't be you won't be happy with us, and nor will we have put in that time to be able to help you would have been success. So yeah, there's specific criteria we look out for, and we also just try to make sure that we can help your business to be able to grow, because not every business can work for our type of market and also work with our type of business.
Right. No, and I think that that's a good clarifying point, is that you're working with these businesses on an ongoing basis. I take it. It's not sort of
Exactly.
You order a package today and, it's a one-time service. It's I would imagine it's maybe a monthly ongoing fee or something like that.
Yeah, spot on. Basically, when we're working with a client, they sign up with us on at least a minimum of about 6 months or so. And over that period of 6 months, we go through and help them build their site to get them optimized at the best possible way we can, to get them ranked on Google and also other search engines. And also, too, we do recommend other things to be able to help them convert and increase their leads as well. So, yeah, it's more or less a long-term relationship. We're not looking to just do one thing off and then hopefully get you on the first page. We want to be able to make sure when we're working with the client and working with any future potential clients is that it's going to be a long-term relationship where we can help them generate not only traffic, but also help them to be able to get more customers into their business to also make more sales for them as well.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. It's there's definitely different market segments out there, and I think the target market that you have is a good one, for those businesses and those owners that want to be able to build their sites into something more viable, and your team can help them do that in a good way. So now you don't have to give away any of your secrets or anything like that, but I am curious what sort of techniques that you're using to rank these sites. Can you give us any tidbits of information there, things that we can sort of apply to our own sites to get them to rank a little better?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll give you some stuff that has been working quite well for us more recently. And with the Google algorithm changes, uh, Google has done an update more recently in last month or so, and that has affected some sites out there. And we have seen some client sites also being affected, but a majority of them, about say 90% of them, have been fine in the same methods that we've been using. And one key thing, I guess, just to give you, is to look for sites where you can put or get good quality links from. We found that we say, for example, creating good quality content is still the king, still very, very important, because if you don't create that good quality content to distribute out there or to actually build a link from out there, it won't work anymore, because Google, I mean, is a pretty smart algorithm. It's got some really amazing bots out there looking and finding and making sure that they're delivering the best content on the search engines. So it comes back down to really good content on their site and making sure that you do put the good content on your site as well, and title it correctly, add your descriptions, put your keywords in there, and make sure it's relevant to what you're doing. I guess that's one thing I just wanted to say. But the second thing is that we've been exploring a lot more with video marketing. This probably leads into another topic here. We've been doing quite a number of things in testing. But we've noticed with YouTube being the second largest search engine in the world, plus also owned by Google as well, it actually gives a lot of strength or any strong link juice back to your website. Now, for people who don't know what link juice is, it's really just letting Google know that your site has been linked to a high priority site or a high authority site. And YouTube, having a very, very high PR, gives that back to your site. So if you can, say, set up a channel on YouTube and have that link, that channel back to your website, you can potentially get yourself a very good quality link back there. And we've seen that work with so many clients, simply setting up a few of those and also making sure that you're getting other high authority blog links out there from, say, WordPress or Blogger or Blogspot and so forth. There's so many great blogs out there you can actually get good quality links. And that seems to be a strategy that's been working really, really well. We've just been focusing on getting quality backlinks rather than getting a lot of backlinks. And I think that's the key now, as Google's trying to eliminate people sending hundreds and thousands of backlinks to their site. Would you agree on that with me, Spencer?
Yeah, I agree completely. As far as if you can get quality links, that's definitely going to trump quantity of links, any day of the week, for sure. So, I personally haven't tested out linking from YouTube very much. For my own blog at nichepursuits.com, of course I do have a YouTube channel and do some things there. But as far as a lot of my other sites, I don't have YouTube channels or anything like that. So that's maybe a strategy that I can even look into a little bit more. But I wanted to ask about the channels themselves. Are you creating the YouTube channels for the clients? Are you creating the videos as well? How involved are you?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Usually as part of one of our packages, we will help them set up their channel and also upload a video for them. Most of the time, it's quite interesting because most of the time the actual client already has videos. They don't know how to upload it. So they just say to us, can you upload it and then get it optimized for us? We're more than happy to do that. So we do that for them on their behalf to be able to get that link and also get that traffic back from YouTube. So yeah, really, it's most of the time they give us the video. If they don't have a video, we'll actually help them set up and create a video for them, because we've got a video editing team here as well that does some very high quality videos and productions for them. Yeah, so there's those two options, but YouTube has been working exceptionally well for us, because in itself, if you can set up a good channel and load up, say, 5 to 10 videos on there and keep uploading at least one video a month, it will actually build your ranking much faster and give you a good, strong backlink back to your website on an ongoing basis. And that's what we found. We've got one channel that we've been working on more recently, and we've had about, I think, 30 videos uploaded on there, and it's got almost a PR 5 or 6 already within a short few months. And, to get a PR 5 or 6 is usually unheard of for normal websites when you first start off within the first 6 months.
Yeah, that's exceptional, definitely.
So, you can create these kind of things as long as you are delivering good, relevant content. And I'm going to emphasize on that again, relevant content.
And I agree. I'll echo that there's so many things that you can do off page, but if your on page optimization isn't good as far as relevant content that's high quality, all those off page things aren't going to matter as much. So I definitely agree that on page factors are a huge part of the ball game here. So that's very interesting that a big part of your business has become involved in sort of YouTube marketing in a way, at least as part of the packages that you're offering your clients. I am curious how you're getting your clients. How are you doing the marketing for your own business? Are you getting a lot of natural traffic either to your websites or through your own YouTube channel, or what sort of avenues do you have for marketing your business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, I better pre-emphasize this as well too. I've been I guess talking as an outsourcing expert for probably the last 3 to 4 years or so. So I have built up a good database there that I can actually market to. So I am very fortunate to be in a position where I could just send an email out and offer these services to them. And I have got a lot of good clients from that from my database. So that is one area where I've had marketing done. I've also built up a substantial YouTube channel. I've had about 330,000 views on my channels across the board. So, from there, I've got subscribers nearing to about 2,000 subscribers there as well. So I've had a good database to be able to market there too. But for, I guess, anyone who is starting out to do a business like this, I actually did do a few webinars in the past to some really, really key local speakers here, I can say. I actually work very closely with a speaker who I've spoken on stage for him as well too in Sydney, and I actually did a webinar to his database, and I was able to market and promote my business there. So I got a few clients from that webinar as well. So yeah, it's a combination of my database, other people's databases, and also too word of mouth. That seems to work really well, and through testimonials, people have referred me through there. In terms of actually optimizing for our website, I am having a bit slack on that, I have to admit. I reckon if I did optimize for our own websites, we could probably get a lot more leads. But at this point in time, we've been just focusing on working with our clients, and we've been exceptionally happy with doing that. Until the time maybe when I come back from my overseas trip, we'll probably start working on that and grow that website. But at this point in time, no, we've just been getting clients through databases. When you've got thousands and thousands of subscribers, it's actually a lot easier to be able to work with them rather than going out to seek for new leads as often.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can build up your own email list, subscriber list of potentially interested customers, that's hands down the way to go. So that's great that you're sort of using your experience that you've had over the past 3 or 4 years, either as a speaker or blogger or otherwise just expert in the outsourcing area to further your business as it is now. If there's anybody listening right now that is potentially interested in your services, what's the best site that they should go to?
Sure. It's pretty easy. It's seoserviceshq.com. And if you go there, you'll be able to, I guess, have a look at what services we offer. It gives you like a frequently asked questions. You'll see some of our testimonials from our clients as well. And it will go through in quite a lot of detail what things that we provide as part of our packages on helping you rank on the first page of Google. So yeah, that's the site. It's seoserviceshq.com.
Very good. That's good to know. Are there any other projects that you're working on right now outside of those SEO services that is either a significant part of your business or just something that you want to tell us about?
Yeah, I probably won't reveal it right now, but I am working on a video marketing channel right now where it's going to be a little bit more different. You're probably going to start seeing me do more or less behind the scenes showing of how I am able to create a video channel and also generate traffic and potentially generate income from that channel. And also I'll be involved in the community that I have already to also be running some competitions and some interesting things that'll be happening. So basically I'll be revealing a case study, I can say, of a site that I've been working they'll be starting from scratch and working on. I won't reveal exactly the name of this yet, but that's probably going to be upcoming. And it's sort of in the works at this point in time, and probably won't be released for a good 3 or 4 months until I get back, because I'm taking about 3 to 4 months off just traveling around.
That sounds nice. I wish I could take 3 to 4 months off.
I'm sure you can, Spencer.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like you've set yourself up pretty well to be able to do that. So congrats on that. I'm sure you have plenty of people to help out while you're gone.
I have to credit my team. My team has been absolutely fantastic and amazing. They've just been they've been really the biggest support of me, because if without them, I don't think I could do what I can do right now. So I have to give big credit to them, and they're the best in my team.
Definitely. No, that's good. Now, I know that you have a few websites out there. Of course, you have your blog at tyroneshum.com. Are there any other sites that, for whatever reason, you might want to point people towards?
Sure. If you want to check out and learn more resources about outsourcing, on step-by-step strategies and tips on how to be able to outsource your business and also reduce the amount of time you're working in your business from, say, if you're working 40 hours a week, you can get down to like 10 hours a week. I'll show you how to do it there, and it's at outsourcinglive.com. You'll be able to just pick up lots and lots of tips and strategies there. We've got also the channel there which goes through and I pretty much reveal to you everything that I've done in my business and how I've outsourced it, and also provide strategies and resources that you can use to be able to do that. I guess on tyroneshum.com, you can find out about the niche site duel that Pat Flynn and I did as well, because when you land on that page, it actually has a link directly to that. So you can check out more about that. And there's like a 8-week or 8-part series that shows you step by step on how we build our niche websites up to rank on the first page and first rank in Google and generate income.
No, that's great. So lots of places that people can either learn more about you, or of course they can visit outsourcinglive.com to learn more about outsourcing. And if they actually want to order some SEO services from you, they can check out SEOserviceshq.com. So Tyrone, I appreciate your time very much. It's been very educational, actually, to sort of learn about your background and sort of what took you from where you were to where you are now, and sort of how your business is going now. So I appreciate your time very much.
Thanks so much for having me on the podcast, Spencer, and look forward to helping anyone out there. If you guys want to get in contact with me, more than happy to help you there. I just have to warn you, I'm not going to be around for the next few months, so you'll probably be speaking to my team, and they're more than capable to be able to answer any of your questions. So yeah, all the best with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tyrone. I appreciate your time very much.
Thank you again, and all the best with it, Spencer.
Thank you.